and I think all are here. So welcome to you all at this meeting of Crieff Common Good Fund. I don't think there are any apologies, are there? No? Can't. No, I think everyone is here. Secondly, declarations of interest. Are there any? No? Right. Third, minutes of the meeting that we held of the Common Good Fund on the 24th of April. Are they agreed? Right. I shall now sign. Where do you want me to sign? Right. What's the date? All right. 25th. 25th of September. Let's put the date on. Right. Thank you. Right. Are there any matters arising? Okay, I have just one, and that's to point out I once again, under 211, a advisory non-voting member, again I contacted the Community Council. I've not had a response, and we've tried on 2-3 occasions. However, given these meetings usually only take 10 minutes, I can see, but they have been sent the actual agenda and the details of this meeting. Okay, let us move on to the matter at hand, the main item, and that is the application by Crieff Community Council for £540. This is for 2 pop-up policemen for road safety. I'm not quite sure if it's for 2 pop-up gyms or 2 pop-up Kirsties, or if Crieff Community Council are going to adopt what I might call a mix and match approach, but let us see. However, are there any comments? Councillor McCall.
Thank you, Convener. It's actually a question I would like to raise. We're going through the Community Council process at the moment, looking for new and active members. Currently, Crieff Community Council are struggling to achieve that. My question is based on if we were minded to agree this today and all for the safety and the issues that are around road safety. So I'm actually very interested in this proposal moving forward. But if we are then minded to agree a £540 to a community council that no longer exists, then what happens?
Thank you, Councillor McCall. It's also a matter that had been raised by Councillor Brock as well, and I take the point entirely. I think at the moment we have to wait to see the outcome of the Community Council elections, and as you know, there is a deadline, and then beyond that, at the discretion of committee services, you can extend it by another 10 days. However, if it still is the case, and I hope it's not, that the Community Council cannot be constituted, I would propose that we accept this proposal, but if it cannot be delivered, sadly, by the Community Council, then it should be delivered by council officers. Would that be?
I think there needs to, I just have to ask a point of clarification there, because does it not need to be a community group that are in benefit of the funds, and therefore they then have to be in control of the pop-up whatevers? Could I have clarity on that, please?
I can't give you clarity just now. It may be, but Lee Haxton, yes. Good.
Okay, as you know, the Common Good funds are paid in arrears. So if you agree to give the grant today of £270 or £540, my apologies, then that money would sit in the Common Good account until it's drawn down. So if the Community Council failed to reform after the election, then they would be in no position to draw the money down, and it would still be there.
Thank you, and that certainly helps. Sorry, Convener, just a follow-up from that, because to me, the important thing is therefore then finding another community group. Is that the way it would? Because the important thing for me is getting these pop-ups out to the community in some way. But at the moment, this is very simply, if we agree this for Crieff Community Council and they can no longer draw down the money, then the money just sits there and another community group could in effect come forward at a later time. Yes. Thank you.
And I think it's a matter we can resolve at the next meeting if there was one of the Common Good Fund in December. Yeah, are we agreed on that? Right. So, on the Councillor Bartlett? No. Councillor Barrett?
It hasn't come from any other body, and it would only be appropriate to allocate the funding to them. If they weren't able to draw it down, then that's their business. If any other organisation then wanted to apply for the funding, then that would be a separate application, just for clarity.
Councillor Barrett.
Thanks, Convener. I wondered if you could tell us a bit more about the specification for the pop-ups. It did seem surprisingly expensive to me at £270 a pop-up. I did or even a pop, as Councillor Lyle was saying. I did a very brief internet search. You can get a pop-up video camera policeman for £94.20, including VAT. Now, I don't know whether that's not what's proposed here, if it's something more substantial, but that's a corrugated plastic pop-up police person or police officer. So I was wondering where the £270 price tag came from.
Right, first of all, on the two questions, first of all, with Councillor Lyle, yes, it would have to come from another community group and submitted to this fund, but it's not something that certainly would go into abeyance if the community council would go into abeyance. With Councillor Barrett, I don't know on all the comparative prices. We went through the community safety team. What we do know, and we've been in touch with all of the community councils in Strathearn, St Fillan's, East Strathearn, also Comrie. I know there's potential interest in the idea from them. I think if we can, if it's they purchase 4 or more, then you can get a discount, I think is of the order of 15 to 20%. But this is the two types of pop-up policemen that have been put forward by the community safety team, and that's how I've asked community councils to proceed. That maybe there may be a broader issue, other cheaper alternatives, but certainly I think the one thing that spurred interest in these pop-up policemen was the experience in Medvin, where I think it was very effective and that people really did notice, and I suspect it did have an impact on driver behaviour. But we have tried, and it may be yet, if Comrie or St Fillan's came in, that we can get them at a reduced price, but certainly not below £100. And I think it's right and proper we go through the community safety team.
I would only comment that, you know, if you can get effectively the same type of pop-up for less than half the price, that, you know, we should be looking to get best value from for the Common Good Fund. I'm happy to provide the details that I found, and if they can be passed on to the Community Council, if it turns out they're comparable, then, you know, if we can agree to up to 270, but if they can be a saving, I'd be happy with that, Convener.
Well, I'm happy if you provide those details to me. I think actually it must be better if they're provided to the Housing and Community Safety Committee. And I think that's because I think it's not just with Strathearn and not just with Crieff Community Council, but with all of the community councils are we purchasing these at too high a price. But these are the ones that have been put forward by community safety team, and I think you've got to have, I think, a very strong argument for arguing against that, because they have looked at the spec and also how long they will last for. The application by the Community Council, are we agreed that in principle we approve this application, but we have to look at the position in particular going forward. We agree in principle. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in agreement that this goes ahead. It's what the Community Council are looking for. Taking on board what Councillor Barrett said, I think it's important that we do need to be mindful of cost, but if this is the one that is coming through and is recommended, then I'm happy to go with that. We have the money to be able to do so, and I'm happy to agree the report as it stands. And we'll just have to wait and see how things progress.
Okay. Then that is agreed. The next item and final item on the agenda is on the accounts. Do the officers wish to say anything?
Thank you, Convener. Yes, Paper 6 asks the committee to note the audited income and expenditure for the Crieff Common Good Fund for financial year 2018-19. As set out in Appendix 1 to the report, and to note the Crieff Common Good Fund income and expenditure to the 30th of August 2019 and the projected outturn to the 31st of March 2020 for financial year 19-20 as set out in Appendix 2 to the report. Following closure of the 18-19 accounts, the audited surplus for the year is £1,138 and the revenue account balance at 31st of March 2019 is £11,014 and that's detailed in Appendix 1. For financial year 19-20, is anticipated there will be a surplus of £600 for the year, and the estimated revenue account balance at 31st of March 2020 will be £11,614, as detailed in Appendix 2. Happy to take any questions.
I have one, but any other questions from? Right, the question quickly I have is, we did agree at the last meeting of this committee a grant of £250 towards the Friends of Old St Michael's for the purchase of a bench. And I look at Appendix 2, and that doesn't show, actually, £250. Does it?
It would normally appear in the committed column, but they haven't actually drawn it down.
Yeah, right, that's what I wanted. So that's since the end, but they haven't.
We can update the appendix for the next meeting, and I'll show both.
But they haven't drawn down on that. Yeah. Okay, that's all I needed to know. Any